Wow. Yeah, the statistics shows my ballistic flows generate big cake, not big candles. That spaghetti, them O's. I'm so ready, how to pack my clothes. I'm so heavy with no D, how them boys. I rock them gators more than Dundee boys. I'm the real raw deal, y'all just still decoys. Like them duck hunters running, blowing whistles, making noise. It's official, tell the nizzles, I'm the dizzle. Flow sizzle, faux shizzle, I'm off the hizzy, busy signal. I got that hustle muscle for that green like before Rick.
Hey YouTube, it's Jay-Z Herps, and this is my turtle tank. This is the tank that I've been waiting to show everybody for a few weeks now. I've put a lot of money and time into this tank. I've probably got about $200 worth of supplies and turtles into this tank. So I'll move on and show everybody what I've got into the tank and give you a rundown on what you can do. Okay, first of all, you're going to need a dock. The dock is really important because it gives the turtle a place to bask. Basking is really important because the turtle is allowed to soak up UVB and UVA rays. These are critical for the turtle's shell because the turtle needs extra vitamin D and C to soak up into its shell. The dock is also really cheap. I got mine for about $15 at my local pet store. It's a Zoo-Med turtle dock. And I've got leaves, some Exoterra plants. I think they're Ampalo or however you pronounce them. I've got them hanging down from each side to cover up the silicone corners. And this also, back here, this is the thermometer, and it keeps this right at 100 degrees. So right on this basking spot, it's right around 95 to 100 degrees, because that's a little bit closer to it. So right around there is about 95 to 100 degrees, and that's just the temperature you want for water turtles. I've got 3 in here, and they're all usually up there when I get home, since I'm here right now. They're not really up there. So for lighting, I've got 2 Exoterra domes. This one's a mini deep dome, I think, and this one's just a regular dome. This one holds a 75 watt Exoterra day glow bulb, and it cost me about $8. It was really inexpensive. And then this one's the Exoterra, I think, Reptiglow 5.0 UVB. It's I think 13 or 26 watt, I'm not sure. But this goes down into the water, and the reason this one's bigger is so it can go across the whole tank. This one just directed on that. So that's mainly the rundown on the lights, and you're also going to need a screen top if you're going to use lights like this. But if you want to use clamp lights, you don't need a screen because you can just put them up there. And also, if you have a cat, I would recommend putting a screen, or a dog or anything like that can mess with the turtles. So that's mainly the rundown on the heating and lighting. So that's all that's going on there. Okay, so when it comes down to tank and water, this is a 29-gallon tank, which is good for baby turtles, and a lot of people use tanks like this. A 20-gallon tank is fine, but I just use mine because I need extra light space, and I want high water so my filter in there will work good. And for water filtration, I have feeder fish in here that are too big for the turtles to eat, so they just mainly clean up the debris off the floor and sand and stuff. And that's a good thing because the turtles can't really eat them, but they have exercise by chasing them around, which is really good for them. And the fish are really inexpensive. They're only 13 cents at my pet store, and the pet store I usually get it from is Pet Supplies Plus, so that's a thumbs up for them, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a big person on like name brand pet stores because they suck. Let's look at PetSmart. They know nothing about their pets. But anyway, these fish are pretty good if you want like natural filtration and something for the turtles to chase. So that's a good thing. And I also have this moss ball back here. It kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. Either way, it was only like $4, so it was really inexpensive, and I didn't have to pay a lot for it. Either way, it looks good, and just gives the fish something to bite on and chew on. That one was doing it there for a second. And then I have a, let's see what it is, a Repticlear terrarium filter F250. I don't know if you can see it good over here, but I have it suction cupped underneath the dock, so it's kind of hidden, which is what I wanted. But this was about $20. I bought it in the expo, and I will be uploading expo footage. I went to the Columbia Reptile Expo, and I got quite a few stuff from there, and it was really fun. I went with Jacob. And this filter, it took me a second to figure out how to work it because the sponges on the inside kept having debris getting caught on them, and it was making all these weird sounds. And then once you give it a few minutes to about an hour, it quits making sound. It's really quiet once it quits doing that. So that's mainly all the filtration I have. So that's all for the filtration. Let's move for setup and decorations. I already said in the first part that I have these Impalo Exoterra plants on each side, and those were really cheap, about $8 total for both of them. And then back here I have a tropical background, which is really inexpensive, and they look really good. You can't see it real good through the water because it kind of murks up because of the sand. And on the back, it's reversible. I'm turning it around here and see, it's got like a rock pattern or something. Anyway, this was really expensive, probably about $2 for the whole 30 inches of it. So that's something you might want to look into for turtles, and they kind of need the background, but they kind of don't. It doesn't really matter. I saw on a Reptiles TV that it helps them feel more secure, but I guess that's true, I don't know. But for other plants I have, I think these are, I forgot what kind of plants these are. They're from like a fish company, but they're freshwater plants, and they just float in their water. So then I got a big one back here. And then I have Exoterra turtle grass right there, which they hide in a lot. One's actually in there right now. It's my red-eared slider. His name's Spike. And then if I can find my other turtles wherever they went, they're always hiding. That's my Mississippi map turtle. His name's Razor. And let's see, I have a, oh, he's over here. Right underneath that plant is my yellow-bellied slider, Kumar. And for the reason they hide so much is because they have good hiding places. I bought these Exoterra floating plants, and they were super cheap, about $4, and you get 5 of them. And they float really good in the water, and they also provide a lot of coverage. And with the current that the filter puts off, you can see the water moving there. It moves them all into one space. You don't have to worry about them floating all over the place. So they hide in mainly the same places. So that's mainly all I have for the decorations. And for the substrate, I have Exoterra turtle riverbed sand. It's brown. I got it off Amazon.com. It was I think $13 for a bag, for a 10-pound bag. It looks really good, but there's one thing that I didn't like about it. It took like 4 or 5 days for it all to settle in the water, which really sucked, even though I didn't get the turtles till like a week later. So it just really made me mad because I couldn't get the whole tank set up for before I got the turtles. I had to set it up while I had them. I was just hoping to have it all ready for them. But that was mainly the bad thing about the sand. But other than that, it's really good sand. So I give it about 4 stars. The 1 star missing is just because it takes a long time to settle. Other than that, the decorations are pretty needed for coverage and hiding places. Okay, these are all my supplies for my reptiles right here. I've got it in front of my mirror. I've got my crickets and Exoterra carrier cage, or whatever you want to call it. And then I've got my 2 books right here. I'm hoping to get a water turtle one, but I don't know yet. And then I've got my, I keep all the boxes for my Exoterra supplies because the boxes look cool. And in case I need any information that I don't have already. See, I've got my boxes for my steprunner lizard, and then this is for my crested gecko Draco, and then I don't know what I did with the box for the turtles. And then I keep the box for the moss ball and the Impalo little top box cover. And then I have sepia bones that I ordered off Amazon for like $3, and they're really good, except I don't let them float in the water because they're really big and they just look bad. So I break them into smaller pieces and then crush them up and put them wherever the turtles are, and they suck them up. So that was something, just an easy tip in case you have those. And I keep my ReptiClear filter box in case I need any more info and instructions in case it breaks. And I have my Fluker's calcium quench crap for my crickets that keeps them alive, and it was real cheap, and I got prices on them. And then here's my Repti 6, which I feed my turtles. I break them up because they're too big for them to eat whole. And then I feed them a combination of this and this, except my Mississippi map turtle hasn't been eating much of either. And I think I'm going to switch him to romaine lettuce if I can find any. And here's my water dechlorinators. I got Repti Safe, which is from ZoomEd, and it's a good thing. It's really cheap. I got it on Amazon for like $2. And actually, I don't even know where this came from. I found it in my garage, and I guess it was from when we had our freshwater fish. But I don't know. I don't use this because I'm not sure if it's safe for reptiles. But then again, I just keep it here in case anybody wants to give me an info on that. And then here's my feeding tongs from, I think, Exoterra, maybe ZoomEd, I'm not sure. And then I've got my Repcal down there. I can feed it to my step runner and Draco, and sometimes I feed it to the turtles, but it clouds up the water, and feed it to my sister's Anul and stuff like that. Extra thermometer that I keep in case if it's needed. I've got my reptile poop scoop, whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it. But other than that, that's the rundown on turtle supplies and turtle tank. And just one more thing about heating. You don't necessarily need a water heater if you live in a house that's kind of heated, because my room stays around 75 degrees all the time, so that's about what temperature the water stays at, which is pretty good for water turtles. And right here within the tank, the hot side stays around 100 degrees and the cool side stays around 70, maybe 85. But that's mainly the rundown on everything. Leave me some comments, subscribe, like, do whatever, but I hope everybody liked the video. I've been waiting a long time to show everybody, so that's the video. Thanks for
Wow. Yeah, the statistics shows my ballistic flows generate big cake, not big candles that spaghetti them O's. I'm so ready, how to pack my clothes. I'm so heavy with no D, how them boys. I rock them gators more than Dundee boys. I'm the real raw deal, y'all just steal decoys like them duck hunters, runners, blowing whistles, making noise. It's official, tell them missiles, I'm the dizzle, flow sizzle, folk shizzle. I'm off the hizzy, busy signal. I got that hustle muscle for that green like the foot.